Birds are singing. Children are playing. Men and women join the hustle and bustle of the daily grind. While most of us take these things for granted, it isn't always this easy. For many, this typical day only exists due to some extraordinary measures. The United Way of Central Carolinas provides services ranging from health education to helping the handicapped. It is through these activities that many are able to live normal lives. Just like every other morning, 17-year-old Channing Ashbaugh gets up at the crack of dawn to eat her Wheaties and read the newspaper. Yet Channing has not always been this typical. In fact, for many years, no one was able to determine exactly what was wrong.
Well, you'd have to go all the way back to when Channing was born almost 18 years ago. We've spent a good many years of her life trying to define what her problem was.
After being labeled anything from learning disabled to cerebral palsy, it was finally determined that Channing is autistic, a handicap that is often completely disabling.
Autism is a communications handicap. Essentially, it's the inability to relate to other people. Channing has difficulty in speaking with other people and understanding the meaning of their words because she cannot relate to them as being somebody who is like herself. The autistic label is considered to be a very devastating label because almost 80% of the people affected are severely autistic. Those in the 80% category frequently have no speech at all. Autism, meaning self, they live in a world essentially of their own making. They are not aware of other people around them. Fortunately, Channing is in one of those 20% that's labeled as being a high-functioning autistic, which means that she has language and she has intellectual skills that the vast majority of autistic people do not.
While most of us take speech for granted, Channing only achieved this vital communication skill through many long hours of hard work.
For a long time, Channing had speech therapy at several different places, including the Charlotte Speech and Hearing Clinic. And language is not a logical instrument. For instance, I remember the therapist sitting there and saying to Channing, "The pencil is on the table," and then trying to explain that the house was on fire did not mean that the house was sitting on top of fire. Oh, there's just been so many agencies that we've gone to over the years. It all seems like a long continuum of blurs of therapists and instructors now. Well, most particularly in her age group, we're involved with TEACH, which is Treat and Educate Autistic and Communication Handicaps, and also with the Autism Society of North Carolina, which works very closely with TEACH. If anybody's seen the movie Rain Man, we could relate to that 100%. Channing is certainly one of those that has an extreme desire for structure. She just has her routine that she goes through. She gets up at approximately the same time, does things in the same order, in the same way. Her breakfast, she eats the same thing for breakfast every morning. She reads her newspaper. Well, as a matter of fact, Channing keeps journals on what she does, and every day when I pick her up from work, she reads off to me what she did all day long. She keeps things down in like 15 or 20-minute intervals, and she knows what she has done at all times.
While day-to-day life is enjoyable, Channing is unable to form the strong bonds of friendship.
Well, that's always been a very difficult thing for her to accomplish. She refers to a group of people as being her friends, but, you know, we've never had, like, parties and get-togethers and things like that. That's one of the things that ultimately makes the handicap difficult to deal with, because you have to work with other people, and inability to develop relationships is problematic. The first time she was ever able to go to camp was the one provided by the Autism Society of North Carolina, and it's right here at Camp Dogwood. And through the camp that's provided by the Autism Society, Channing has met other girls. In fact, there's a girl here in North Carolina that they call each other on the phone and make plans about meeting at camp.